So I'm recording this just after the Eagles game when Saquon Barkley scored 2 TDs, 300 yards, I think 57 yards in the air, and for 255 yards rushing. So just one quick comment about that. Right, I'm a Steelers fan, but one quick comment about that. Why did the New York Giants trade him away to the Philadelphia Eagles? I would be so pissed off if we traded away a big superstar like George Pickens to the Ravens or someone like that. Now, I know Deontay Johnson went to the Ravens, but he did nothing. Nothing. So I thought that was really strange. And Saquon Barkley is now putting himself in the position to be an MVP conversation at least, or, NFL Offensive Player of the Year. He's playing crazy, man. He's playing a really good brand of football. And the way the Eagles are using them, and we verse them in a few weeks' time. And I'm going to put the Gauntlet video in here shortly because I'll talk about the Gauntlet coming up when we have the Bengals next, the Browns. I've moved on, right? I'm sick of hanging my head down of like, oh, we lost to the Browns, yada yada yada, right? But I do want to read one comment. I got one from Richard. And by the way, sorry, I do forget what YouTube alias you use, but I'm kind of this will be the last comment I do on this like loss or the negativity that's around. Right? I thought this was kind of crazy and funny. He says here, this is how ridiculous some people sound. Steelers start 3-0. He's like, here we go, baby. And the networks don't know what they're talking about. 3-1. Steelers lose to the Colts. Field sucks. He's just Kenny 2.0. Why do we even sign him? Lost to the Cowboys 3-2. Typical Tomlin football. Najee is a bust. Arthur Smith is Matt Canada 2.0. Then we beat the Raiders 4-2. Najee's a beast. Run Fields run. Arthur Smith isn't too bad. Then we beat the Jets 5-2. Beanie Bishop is the man. So glad we didn't sign him. Devontae Adams. And then we beat the Giants 6-2. Look at Wilson go. We have a quarterback. Then we beat the Commanders 7-2. We're a playoff team. All those networks saying we didn't beat anybody. What are they going to say now? And then a few days ago or last week, we beat the Ravens 8-2. We own Harbaugh, Super Bowl contenders. This is our division. And then a few days ago versus the Brownies, we lose to the Browns, go 8-3, fire Tomlin, Arthur Smith can't call a game. There goes the season. So that's my kind of like my final comment from one of the fans here at Steel Nation Australia, Richard. And I don't remember what your YouTube channel is. I can't put it all together, but you'll tell me in the comments below. So I appreciate all of that. So let's move that aside, right? We lost against the Browns. No excuses. We didn't show up. They rarely show up, and they haven't won an away game, divisional away game on a Thursday ever. So let's kind of. So here's the AFC Gauntlet so far right now. And I will do that every single week. So I don't know how long that's going to the video is going to go for. So I do apologize if you've seen that 4 or 5 times. But the music's really awesome. And I thank you to NSMC99 and Cameron McCracken Music for that. So that's the Gauntlet, right? We beat the Commanders. We beat the Ravens. We lost against the Browns. Now we have more of an extended week going into Cincinnati and Ohio. But before we get there and we go to Ohio and hopefully we beat the Bengals and we go 3-1 in the Gauntlet, right? Before we get there, let's talk about this AFC side that is our playoffs. And right now, I'm just trying to find the screen there. Here it is. So here it is right here. So AFC playoff picture. Division leaders is KC. And by the way, today when I saw the football game versus the Panthers, they went to overtime versus the Carolina Panthers. So do we fire Andy Reid? Do we fire Patrick Mahomes? No, they still won the game. They're 10-1. Buffalo Bills are 9-2. The Pittsburgh Steelers are 8-3, still leading the division. So when I put this out, it'll be right before the Charger game versus Baltimore. So we want to see Baltimore lose to go 7-5. And then Houston, they lost against the Titans. They're 7-5. But they have a 2-game lead over Indy. And I don't think that Indy can catch them. I'm not too sure about them. So wild card, you have Chargers. So when the Chargers, hopefully beat the Baltimore Ravens, they'll move to 8-3 as a wild card. They're 5th seed. Baltimore could lose today's game and go to 7-5. Denver just beat the Raiders yesterday, 29-19, I think. And Minshew Mania got injured as well. So they're now 7-5. Those are your 3 wild cards. And if the Pittsburgh Steelers can keep winning games, I'm pretty sure because we beat KC, if we win 6 in a row, we get the number 1 overall seed. I'm pretty sure it would be us or Buffalo. But if Buffalo lose 1 and we win out, then we get the number 1 overall seed. But right now, it's KC and Buffalo fighting for the number 1. We're just kind of fighting week by week to keep holding the AFC North. Number 1 would be great, to have a first-round bye. That'd be fantastic to be the top seed. But right now is focus on beating the Bengals and focus also on, winning the AFC North. So in the hunt, Miami's playing much better. I think they've won like 2 games in a row or 3 games in a row. And they beat down the Patriots today too. They beat the Patriots. They got Tua back. Scroll down the score. They beat them 34-15. They're 5-6. And when I go to the standings, I think they've won now, 3 games in a row. So if anything, any team that's getting hot right now at this moment is Miami Dolphins. They're 5-6. They're waiting for Denver, Baltimore, or Chargers to screw up. And there could be a big chance that Baltimore does screw up because they verse the Chargers. If they lose that one, they'll fall to 7-5. Then the next moment, the week after, they verse the Philadelphia Eagles. They could lose that game too. Another crazy team. I just talked about Barkley, and Jalen Hurts is playing fantastic football out there. If they lose that game, Baltimore could lose 2 in a row, and they move to 7-6 with their playoff hopes on the line, on the edge. Then you have Indy. I'm not really too worried about Indy though. I think their team is done. I don't see them, falling into the playoffs. If anyone's going to fall into the playoffs and take that 7th seed or 6th seed, it's going to be Miami or Cincinnati. Now, here's one thing. Here's how we beat the Bengals. Pressure Joe. Make sure that Trey Hendrickson doesn't get pressure around our right tackle or left tackle, wherever he lines up. Dan Moore and Jones need to do a good job and keep Russell Wilson up and firing footballs all over the field. Russell Wilson played pretty good football versus the Browns, but didn't get the win. He was 21 for 29, almost like 290 yards, in the air. So that's what we got to do, because otherwise, if the Bengals win this game, if the Bengals win versus us, they catch up in the AFC North, which could maybe get, just maybe, but also they're fighting back into the playoff standings. Like I said, they are 4-7. So they're trying to fight. We could essentially eliminate them, though, if the Steelers eliminate the Bengals and they beat them 31-29, don't care how they win, they'll fall to 4-8. That means their season would be pretty much done. 4-8, you'd have to be a 9-8 football team for a 7th seed, and that's not going to happen because when you look at it, Denver would have to lose 4 games, and Baltimore lose 4 games, and Chargers lose 4 games. So Cincinnati playoff odds are on the they are just on the edge, right on the edge. We can send them home at home, take care of business, 4-8. But for this playoff picture, I'm looking towards Miami, Denver, and Baltimore. I think Baltimore could fall out and Miami take their spot. Anyway, Steeler Nation, thank you for checking out Steeler Nation Australia. I think that when I put this out, it will be not Steelers. It will be Ravens versus Chargers, and we've got to say, go Chargers, go Chargers, go, or something like that. Because the Ravens could fall this week, then next week versus the Eagles, they could lose 2 in a row. I'll see you guys later.